Hi, today's dish is, we're going to call it chicken and vegetables Southern Indian style. Now, Southern Indian style, they cook with a different method. The sauces are not, they use a lot more starches. Their sauces are not as bright or as harsh. India's divided up into kind of three regions in cuisine-wise: Punjabi, Bombay, and Southern style. This Southern style one is kind of, let's just look at it as Indian home cooking or comfort food cooking. It's a really interesting method, and I want to share it with you because of what it does. But what I'm going to do with this today is I'm also going to make green rice, and this is another really interesting dish. A very simple way to make it green, and I'm going to show you how I do it. So I start with, I use a coffee cup to measure, whatever difference does it make. It's 2 to 1. So I'm going to start with a coffee cup of rice, and I'll put it in a skillet. And then I'm going to take this blender, and I already have 1 coffee cup full of water. And I'm going to take the ends of a bunch of cilantro, not the very tip. I cut the tip off, I'll use that later. And then 1 more cup of, so 2 cups of water. And then the 1 bunch of cilantro, or almost, let's say 2/3 of a bunch. I'm going to puree this, turn it into green water. And to the green water, I'm going to add to the rice when it's time to add the rice, the water to the rice, and cook it in it. I also add just a pinch of, well, probably a teaspoon, heaping teaspoon of chicken soup base to give this a little bit of flavor. So I'm going to blend this up, and then I'm going to start that on the fire, and I'll show you that in a minute. Thanks. Okay, here is the cooking sauce. I would even venture to say it's closer to a gravy, even though gravy technically is made with the meat drippings. This is a really thick sauce, or it thickens up pretty heavy. So we're going to call it the cooking sauce or the cooking liquid. It's not liquidy very much. Anyway, what I'm going to add into this blender here, I have half of an onion that I just cut up into chunks. 2 or 3 cloves of garlic, and about an inch-long piece of ginger peeled. You don't really have to do any much more than that. And then I'm going to add about, I'm going to say that's between 1/3 and 1/2 of a cup. This is pecans. Now they would probably normally use pistachios, and pistachios are really delicious in this. But I don't have any pistachios. I'm going to use what I have, and I like pecans, and they do a similar thing. So pecans, and then this is garam masala. Now garam masala is a mixture. Masala means mixture. So garam masala is a mixture of spices. This one, garam masala, is not unlike the spices that are in pumpkin pie. It's kind of nutmeggy and cinnamon and cloves and ginger, along with maybe a little bit of cumin and something kind of peppery. I'm not really sure. It's not really a sweet thing. It's pretty savory. And anyway, in here I'm going to add 2 heaping teaspoons. Man, that's probably even closer to 2 heaping tablespoons. When it comes to Indian food, you can't skimp on the ingredients in terms of the the spices. It just doesn't work. You're like, kind of wish. And then on top of that, I'm going to add 1 can of coconut milk. Now, this is not coconut water. It's coconut milk. It's a totally different product. This is, we're not substituting this for dairy. It really needs the coconut flavor here. And all that goes into the blender, just like that. And then we blend it until it is really a puree. No chunks of nuts, no nothing. You blend it puree, and then you add that. After you've browned your meat and added the vegetables, you add this cooking liquid and let it simmer. It's pretty good. Now, instead of coconut milk, you can also use yogurt. That's plain, non-sweet, flat-out yogurt. That is another version of this. It's totally acceptable. I'll be back over at the stove when you get things cooking here. Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to start the rice here. The rice is going to just start. I have a pan in oil, and I'm going to put the rice in. And I'm just going to stir it around enough to coat the grains of rice. Now, the difference between, this is basmati rice, by the way. The difference between doing it this style and doing it a different style is, this is not a sticky rice. This is rice pilaf, and what rice pilaf means is that there's individual grains of rice. It's not clumping together. So the way you do that to make a rice pilaf basically is you put a little bit of oil in the pan, and you don't necessarily fry the rice before you cook it, but you want to coat all the kernels with oil before you put the broth in. And the reason that you do that is it prevents the starches from making the thing stick together. Now this is basmati rice. If you don't know what basmati rice is, it's a lot nuttier of a rice. It just has a really nutty flavor. If you haven't tried it before, you can pick it up at most grocery stores. They have it. It's a quick rice. It's only 20 minutes takes to cook. And I've coated that all with oil now. And now I'm going to take the green water that I made before, which was just in the blender, cilantro, water, and a little chicken stock. And I'm going to pour that in there. And as soon as it comes to a boil, I will turn the fire down, cover it, turn the fire down, let it simmer, kind of like you do rice. We're going to start the Southern Indian chicken now. And I started by taking some coriander seeds. Now, those are coriander seeds. That is a pretty good sized jar of them, but you can see they're little tiny, I don't know, BB size seeds. And basically what coriander seeds are is the seeds for cilantro. And I took it and I ground it up in my pestle, and what it gives is kind of an unusually lemon smell, where you get lemon from coriander, I don't know, but that's what we're going to start with. We start with a hot pan, and I'm going to put some oil in it. This is canola oil. I think the Indians would use a little ghee. And we're going to put just a little bit of garam masala in the bottom of it, probably about a teaspoon or so. And then I'm going to also add those coriander seeds. And then I'm starting with carrots and onion. That's a half an onion and, oh, I don't know, about 2 carrots. Maybe a carrot. 1 carrot. And I'm going to cook that along with the meat. Get a little brown on the meat at the same time. This is cut up chicken pieces. This is about 1.5 pounds, I guess. Now I don't want this to burn, and I don't want it to cook all the way through. But as soon as like the meat gets cooked on one side, I'm going to stir it and then add a bunch of vegetables, and then I'll add my cooking liquid. Okay, we're back, and the meat and aromatic onions and carrots have cooked down just a little bit. They're not cooked all the way through yet, but it's time to stir them, and I did. And now I'm going to add some vegetables. That's about 1/2 pound of mushrooms and 2 small zucchinis. And then this is some broccoli and cauliflower. Oh gosh. It would be about a medium head of cauliflower or a half of a large head. And about the same of broccoli, maybe just a little bit less. Okay, now I'm going to try to see if I can stir that up just a little bit. Just so it doesn't burn on the bottom. Yeah, that's good. And stir that in. And then I'm going to add the cooking liquid. And then let it just kind of do its thing. So this is that mixture that we made earlier. It kind of looks like brown gravy, or maybe tan. It smells really good. And we're just going to pour that in there. And I'm going to add just do a little rinse out and add just a little bit of water to it, so I can get the last of the goodies out of the bottom of that, because the liquid's going to cook off. And just like that. And then let's stir that up a bit. Now that put about, I'm going to say, a 1/2 inch of liquid in the bottom of my pan. Now when these vegetables cook down, they're going to release a little bit more liquid too, and it'll all come to a nice amalgamated mess. This is a little bit of cilantro, the last of the cilantro that's going to tie the rice in with it. And I'm going to cover it. I'm going to turn it down and cover it and let it simmer for, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes till the chicken's cooked all the way through. I'll be back. Well, it's time to plate this. I have the green rice right here, and I'm just going to put a little bit on the plate in a bowl here. And then right next to it, I am going to take this chicken and vegetable mixture. It's just a whole mixture with a little bit of this thick sauce, and put it right next to it and leave it just like that. It's a really great dish. It's actually simple, even though it kind of looks complicated. It's probably just something you're not really used to doing before, but it's really easy. Once you get used to doing something like this, it's kind of not hardly much work at all, because you kind of just put it in the blender and let it do it. But I urge you to try it. This smell is just wafting off here. It smells fantastic. It's kind of exotic flavors, you know, something you're not used to, but wow, is it really good. I urge you to try it. It's really worth it. If you like my videos and you want to subscribe, I appreciate it. Comment down below, share with your friends. It's all good. And remember, your favorite flavor, you haven't tried yet. Thanks for watching.